Mum said it in front of the tree like it was part of the carols. She looked at my empty hand. No boyfriend, no +1, and took a sip of cocoa. Another Christmas alone, Erin. You do this to yourself. Our living room looked like a catalogue. White lights, glass icicles, a fake snow village humming on the piano. It always did. Christmas at my parents' house ran on rules. Dad handled the ham. My sister Maddie arranged the stockings in high order like we were still 12. Mum polished the good silver and measured the joy in other people's faces. Mine never registered. I'm Erin, 28, project manager at a medical device company. I rent a small apartment across town where the heater knocks, and the neighbors leave cookies at my door. I like quiet mornings and strong coffee. I'm not broken. I'm just single, still no one. Mum asked loud enough for the cousins to hear. She pretended to straighten the garland. We're all rooting for you, dear. At some point, you need to try it. Maddie, perfect as always, smoothed her red dress. Her fiancé Ryan handed her a sugar cookie like he was feeding a deer. Don't pressure her, he said with a smile that said he agreed. I set my gift on the half a flat box. White ribbon, nothing flashy. Next to it, a navy envelope with my name in my own handwriting. I slid the envelope deeper under the clock so no one would open it by mistake. Not yet. My phone buzzed. A text lit up the screen from a number saved as logistics. Dropped confirmed. ETA 6:45. You'll want the porch light on. I locked my screen fast. No one saw. I kept my face calm. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments about which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. Dinner started like it always did. Dad carved. Uncle Pete told the story about the snowstorm in '98, Mum asked. Maddie about honeymoon plans and asked me about dating apps in the same tone she used for expired milk. When I said work was going well, she smiled the way people smile at a toddler drawing. That's nice, honey. But work won't hold your hand when you're old. The comment floated and landed on my plate. I cut my ham into careful squares and didn't argue. I have learned that some people don't want answers. They want their line back. Desert came. The cousins drifted toward the game room. I checked my watch. 6:43. 2 minutes. Mum stacked plates and announced our yearly gratitude circle, which was code for a toast to Maddie's everything and a prayer over my potential. She lifted her glass. This family is blessed with love. Some of us, she glanced at me. Sweet assault, still haven't figured out how to accept it. The doorbell rang. Everyone paused. Mum frowned, wiped her hands on a towel, and went to the hall. I stood without thinking. Maddie's eyes narrowed like she could smell a secret dot at the entry. Cold air slipped around our ankles. Through the frosted glass, shapes waited on the porch, several, not one. The porch light snapped on by itself. Dad reached for the knob. Who's that? Mum asked, irritated and curious. I picked up the navy envelope and held it flat in my palm. My heart didn't race. It steadied. It's for me, I said. And it's not a boyfriend. Dad opened the door. Cold air rushed in, and with it, 3 people in bright jackets, arms full of boxes. A van idled at the curb with hazard lights flashing. Erin Henderson. The lead woman asked, checking a clipboard. Northside holiday route. We've got tonight's drop. Sorry we're a few minutes early, the snow's picking up. Mum blinked. Excuse me? I stepped forward. Hi Monica, I said. Living room is fine for staging. We'll sort fast. Monica smiled, relieved. Perfect. They filed in, setting boxes on the rug. Labels faced up in clean marker. Coats boys 10 to 12. Girls books, grocery cards, household kits. A small box, red hospital care packs with a heart next to it. Maddie stared. What is this? Tonight's route, I said simply. Stops within 5 miles. Families we verified last week. Mum's voice went cold. In my house. Just for sorting, I said. It's warmer than the porch. Monica lifted a hand, polite and fast. We'll be out in 20 minutes. Erin runs the logistics for Route 3. She's why we're on time. Dad looked from the boxes to me. You set this up. I nodded. With the community center, we matched wish lists to donations. My team at work chipped in. The navy envelope is the paperwork. Monica glanced at the mantel clock. We'll need the first wave out by 7:05 or we miss the shelter before lights start. Mum planted herself between the boxes and the tree. We're in the middle of Christmas. I kept my voice level. So are they. Monica read her list. Stop 1 Linden Court. 2 coats, 1 heater card. Stop 2 Riverview Apartments. Grocery cards, books. Stop 3 St. Anne's. 10 hospital packs for the pediatric ward. Maddie folded her arms. Is this your way of making a point? No, I said. It's my way of doing my job. Before Mum could answer, a small body shot past her knees. Tyler, my 9-year-old cousin, landed by a box labeled Girls' Books and peered in. Can I help? He asked. Monica beamed. You can be the sticker captain. She handed him a sheet of snowflake stickers, 1 per pack. Tyler set to work like his life depended on it. Dad cleared his throat. How many stops? 5. I said, to drivers, to runners. Me, with clipboard. It takes 40 minutes if we move. Mum shook her head like she could stop time. We are not turning my home into a Maiano monocle. Looked at her kindly. Ma'am, we won't leave a footprint. We just need room. Room. The word hung in the garland. I slid the navy envelope from under the clock and placed it on the mantel where everyone could see. The center approved us as a satellite for tonight. Also, I looked at Dad. My company signed a match. Every item we drop tonight is doubled in January. Maddie's fiancé Ryan leaned in, like a corporate match. Yes, I said. We hit $8,000 last week. The match posts after year-end. I let that sit without the rest. The rest could wait. Mum forced a smile that wouldn't stick. And what does any of this have to do with your personal life? I met her eyes. Everything, I said. Because this is personal to me. Monica checked her watch. We're at 6:56. If we can get 2 cars loaded. Dad snapped out of it. Tyler's shoes. Pete, get the wagon from the garage. He looked at me, surprised by his own decision. Tell me where we're going. I handed him a card from the top box. Linden Court, apt to be 2 coats. Ring twice. His mouth shaped the words ring twice like it meant something. Maddie stepped closer to the boxes, curiosity softening into something quieter. What's a hospital pack? I opened the small box. Inside, lip balm, tiny lotion, socks, a puzzle book, a card that said, "You are seen in blue ink." Maddie touched the corner like it might bruise. Mum didn't move. This is not how we do Christmas, she said. I picked up the clipboard. It's how I do it, I said. You can join the route, or you can wait here. Either way, I'll be back in 40 minutes. Monica lifted the first box. Tyler slapped a snowflake sticker on like a badge. The porch light glowed that the door stood open, cold and clean. Route 3, Monica said. Eyes on me. Call it. I took a breath that felt like a new kind of carol. Rolling, I said. Let's go. Snow spits as we step onto the porch. Monica hands me the first card. Linden Court, apt to be ring twice. Dad takes the wagon. Uncle Pete shoulders the coats. Tyler holds the sticker sheet like a flag. Mum stands in the doorway, arms folded under her apron. She doesn't put on a coat. She watches like a judge. Maddie and Ryan hover, unsure which way the night is tipping. We ring twice. A woman opens the door with a tired smile and a toddler on her hip. The apartment is warm, small, and smells like laundry that finally dried. Route 3, she asks. Route 3, I say, and hold out the 2 coats. The bigger one has a green stripe. The smaller one is red and looks like it remembers a sled dot. The toddler pats the red coat and whispers, "Mine." Like magic has rules. It's yours, I say. Tyler leans in, sticks a snowflake on the tag, and stands back like a pro dot. The mom's eyes shine. Thank you, she says. We've been doubling up in Dad's jacket. Mom's face moves an inch. She pulls her sweater tighter. She doesn't speak. Back outside, Monica taps her watch. 6:59. Good pace. Next stop, Riverview. We pile into cars. Dad drives me and Mum. Uncle Pete follows with Tyler and Ryan. The wipers tick. The porch light shrinks in the rear view until it's only an idea. Riverview Apartments has a blinking exit sign and a carpet. That's seen every winter. A teen opens the door with a baby on her shoulder and a fierce look like she learned to be older last week. We brought grocery cards and books, I say. A neighbor nominated you. She blinks fast. He said nobody reads anymore. She takes the books like they're breakable. I do. Mum crosses her arms tighter. Her mouth softens, then hardens. It's Christmas, she says to me. Lo, we should be home. I look at the baby's socks, thin and brave. We are, I say. Back at the cars, Monica checks the clock. 7:07. We can still make St. Anne's if we go now. She looks at me. Hospital lights out at 7:30. Mum opens the passenger door and gets in without being asked. It feels like weather changing. We drive. The snow decides what it wants to be and becomes heavy. Dad leans forward like that helps the tires. Mum stares straight ahead. Why didn't you tell me? She asks, finally. You never ask about my work, I say. You ask about a boyfriend. That's not a crime, Erin. It isn't. But it's not my whole life. The wipers scrape. The heater hums. She doesn't answer. We swing into the hospital loop. The glass doors wash us in light. Monica tosses me a box labeled Hospital Care Packs ID. She says, they're strict. I pull the navy envelope from my bag and take out two things. A volunteer clearance letter with my photo and a signed partnership. Memo on hospital letterhead, confirming Route 3 as an approved holiday drop. We hustle inside. Security scans the letter, nods, and stamps our hands with red stars. Pez to the right. 10 minutes, the guard says. Shift change. The pediatric hall smells like lemon and cartoons. Nurses move like they learned how to be quiet and fast at the same time. A board reads, Today's helpers. Route 3 in dry erase. Someone drew a snowman beside it. We set the box on the counter. A nurse with a badge that says Sam lifts a pack and smiles. You're Erin, she says. You always sign the emails at 1 a.m. I laugh. Guilty. She peeks inside a kit. The lip balm and lotion. The socks are the right kind. And the cards. She flips one over. You are seen. She nods, slow. That helps in this hallway. A small shape appears at the door, bald under a knit hat. He looks at the stickers on Tyler's sheet, then at the box. For us. He asks. Sam crouches. For you. Tyler peels a snowflake and presses it to the boy's wrist like a tattoo. The boy beams. The whole hall brightens 1 watt. Mum watches from the doorway. I can't read her face. I don't try. 2 minutes. Security calls gently from the desk. Lights out. We move. Sam tucks the packs into a cart. Thank you, she says, and her eyes hit mine dead center. Tell your company thank you, to the email, said Match. That's how we keep doing this in January when everyone goes back to normal. Mum's head turns a little at the word match. She looks at the navy envelope in my hand. We head out as the ward dims to soft night. In the lobby, a charity tree glows. A plaque at the base says in honor of Henderson Logistics. Dad stops. Henderson. He reads aloud. I swallow. My team used the family name when we registered the route, I say. I thought it might make the donation feel like ours, not just mine. Mum touches the plaque with her fingers like it might be hot. She doesn't pull away. We step back into the cold. Monica grins at her watch. 7:28. We made it. The snow is steady now. The van's hazards blink like a metronome. Tyler shoves his hands in his pockets and looks up at me. Where next, Captain? 2 more stops, I say. Then home. Mum opens her mouth, then closes it. She gets into the car. She doesn't slam the door. On the drive, Dad glances at the navy envelope in my lap. Anything else in there? Yeah, I say quietly. One more thing for later. He nods, like a man who knows later might finally be the right time. The heater knocks. The clock on the dash flips to 7:31. We are not done, but the night has turned. Snow got thicker, like the sky had decided to commit. Monica checked the route card. Stop former pool towers, seniors, space heater cards and blankets. She tapped her watch. We're tight. We pulled up to a brick high-rise with a glowing lobby and a handwritten sign. Elevator OUT, sorry, Dad whistled low. How high? 6th floor, I said, reading the apartment numbers. No choice. We go, Uncle Pete threw a blanket bundle over his shoulder. Tyler hugged the sticker sheet under his coat. Ryan grabbed 2 grocery cards like they were delicate. Mum stepped out of the car without a word and wrapped her scarf tighter. We hit the stairwell. It smelled clean and old. The lights buzzed. On 3, Dad slowed, then set his jaw and kept going. Mum took the lead, one hand on the rail, the other on a blanket pack. On 5, a door cracked. An elderly woman peered out, hair in soft curls. Mum stopped, breath visible. Mrs. Green. The woman blinked. Lynn, my mother's name? I hadn't heard it that soft in a long time. You used to sing at our Christmas Eve service, Mrs. Green said. You and your mama. Mum swallowed, voice small. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Green eyed the blankets. You angels or ubs? Route 3, I said. Heater cards and blankets for 6B and 6F. But if you're cold, old bones are always cold, Mrs. Green said, but her eyes were kind. She flicked a glance at Mum, a look that saw more than coats. Your mama would be proud. Mum didn't answer. She didn't need to. We climbed the last flight quiet. The kind of quiet that isn't empty. 6B opened to a man with a crossword tucked in his robe pocket. We gave him a blanket and a heater card. He tried to hand the card back. Someone else needs it more, he said. We brought enough, I told him. Tonight we did the math. He smiled with his whole face. Tyler added a snowflake to his sleeve. Badge, he said. The man saluted. On the way down, my phone buzzed. Monica glanced. Route led. She asked. I checked the text. Community center. Freezer failure. At shelter. Lost meat. Can we divert 10 grocery cards? Monica's eyes lifted. That's our margin. I stared at the screen. We'd budgeted to the dollar to hit the match. 10 cards now meant something else later. The wipers in my head ticked. Then I texted back, yes, divert. We'll cover with January match and my bonus if we have to. Mum saw it. Your bonus? She asked, cautious. After New Year, I said, I don't need a new coffee table. We hit the lobby. Monica radioed the van. Divert 10 to shelter, confirmed. She looked at me, approval plain. Good call, Captain. 5th stop, I said. St. Michael's Hall. The late service kitchen. Dad drove. The church's red door was propped with a salt bag. Inside, a line of steam tables. Volunteers and hairnets. The air thick with soup and cinnamon. A banner on the far wall. Winter table. Community night. Under it, a smaller poster with a mock-up drawing. Coming January. Family nook. The sketch showed shelves, beanbags, a little lamp. And at the bottom, in small print, funded by Henderson Logistics, year-end grant. Dad slowed. Mum did too. Her hand rose without thinking. Henderson, she whispered. The kitchen lead, a woman named Terry, spotted Monica and came over, wiping her hands. Route 3. On the nose. We can stretch this soup now. She saw us reading the poster and smiled at me. Your grant made that nook real. The board approved the name this morning. Mum's throat moved. What? Name? Terry pointed to a second poster, still half-rolled with painter's tape. We haven't hung it yet. Wanted you to see first. She unscrolled it enough for the bottom line to show. Nana Joe reading Nook. The name hit the tile and my chest at the same time. Nana Joe, Mum's mother. The one who taught me to thread a needle and sang harmony low. The one Mum talks about when she forgets to be tough. Mum stared like she'd lost and found a room. Terry kept talking. Gentle. We'll stock early readers, picture books, and a basket of quiet toys for the service hours. Your company's match covers shelving. The grant letter is in your packet. She looked at me. You brought it. I lifted the navy envelope. Yes, I said. For after Root, Mum finally met my eyes. There was something there I hadn't seen on her face since I was little. When she'd kneel to tie my skates and tuck the laces twice. Pride, scared of itself. We helped ladle soup for 10 minutes. Tyler put snowflake stickers on the corner of the Nana Joe poster when Terry wasn't looking. No one stopped him. Outside, the clock on the church sign clicked to 8:06. We had made every stop, diverted 10 cards, and put a name on a wall that made something soft in our house sit up. Last thing, Monica said, breath fogging. She handed me a small padded mailer from her coat. Hospital courier dropped this while we were gone. For you. I slit the top with a fingernail and peeked. Letterhead, a brass-looking pin. Mum leaned in, a question written all over her face. What is it? She asked. I slid the contents back into the mailer and tucked it under the navy envelope. My heart did not race. It steadied again. Later, I said, and smiled. At the tree, we got back at 8:41. The porch light clicked off behind us like a curtain. Inside, the village hummed on the piano. The cousins drifted from the game room, noses pink from the cold that followed us in. Mum stood by the mantel, hands on the navy envelope like it might move. She didn't speak first. I set the padded mailer beside it. Root's done, I said. 5 stops. 10 cards diverted. Hospital made lights out. Dad nodded, something unclenching in his shoulders. Tyler held up an empty sticker sheet, like a trophy. Uncle Pete ruffled his hair. Maddie watched me with a face I didn't know she had a careful one. Gratitude circle. Dad asked, trying for normal. Mum swallowed. Open your... Whatever that is, she said, chin at the mailer. It came out sharp, but the edge wobbled. I slit the padded top. Inside, a letter on hospital letterhead, and a small brass pin shaped like a red star with tiny wings. I read out loud. Erin Henderson in recognition of leadership on the Pez Winter Partnership. The board confers auxiliary liaison status and extends a volunteer leadership award for 2026. Badge enclosed. The letter listed dates for quarterly meetings and a note from Sam handwritten at the bottom. The socks mattered. So did the words. The room didn't clap. It breathed. I pinned the star to my sweater. It felt heavier than it looked. Is that a job? Maddie asked. A seat? I said. One I don't need a +1 for. Mum's eyes flicked to the navy envelope. And that. I opened it and pulled out the grant packet. The top page showed Henderson Logistics year-end match, posted and doubled. $16,000 total. Behind it, a copy of the kitchen board vote approving the Nana Joe reading nook, with a small ribbon-cutting card for January 10th, 11 a.m. I handed the card to Mum. Her fingers shook. They used Mama's name, I asked. I said. I planned the work, I said. The rest planned itself when people said yes. Tyler tugged my sleeve. Can I be sticker captain at the ribbon? You're hired, I said. Ryan cleared his throat. We can handle printing for the nook. Flyers, signs, my firm won't charge. He glanced at Maddie, who nodded like she was already moving chairs in her head. We'll do a book drive instead of shower games, she said. We don't need more towels. Dad laughed, soft and amazed. Look at that, he said to no one. Look at that. Mum didn't laugh. She stepped closer. The words on her face fought, then lined up. I said something ugly tonight, she began, voice small. I have said it for years. Disappointment. She tasted it like it was still bitter. I was wrong. I was measuring the wrong thing. No one moved. You don't need a boyfriend to be worth a room, she said, stringing each word like a light. You walked into 5 of them and made them warmer. You carried Nana Joe with you. You brought us with you even when I tried not to go. She touched the brass star on my sweater with one finger, careful, like it was hot. I'm sorry, I didn't rush into her arms because that's not how this house works. I nodded. Thank you, I said. I needed that. She looked at the January 10th card again. Do you want me to sing? She asked. The question held old winter and new air. Yes, I said. I picked a spot for you next to the lamp. Dad wiped his eye and pretended not to. We'll all be there, he said. Even Pete in a hairnet. 2 hairnets, Pete said. I'm fancy. The cousins laughed. The room loosened. I reached into my bag one last time and pulled out a flat box with white ribbon, the gift I'd placed on the hearth hours ago. One more thing, I said, handing it to Mum. She opened it. Inside, a glass ornament, a tiny open book with gold edges. Etched on the page, Nana Joe Nook, -1/10. Mum's mouth trembled. She crossed to the tree and hung it on a low branch where the lights pooled. For a second, she rested her forehead against the needles the way she used to when I was little, and the world felt too loud when she straightened. She held out a hand, not to inspect, not to correct, just to hold. I took it. Her fingers were cold. Mine was steady. Around us, the family circle formed without someone calling it. Tyler slid between me and Mum, sticky with sticker glue. Maddie handed me a mug. Dad lifted his glass. No speeches. No ranking. Just heat and quiet. Out by the curb, Monica's van pulled away, hazard lights winking like a goodbye. On the mantel, the navy envelope lay open. Papers spread like proof of a different kind of romance, the kind with roots and signatures and names on doors. Mum looked at my empty hand, then at the room I'd filled. You're not a disappointment, she said again, stronger. You're the plan? I smiled. I didn't bring a boyfriend, I said. I brought a root. The village hummed. The star on my sweater caught the light, and for the first time in years, Christmas fit.